Hello there good people, what is up? Welcome to this channel. My name is Marco and I am a self-taught programmer who recently changed his career to become a full-stack developer. I decided to start this channel to vlog my learning journey, to get more visibility, of course, and also to learn better, because as it is well known, trying to explain something is like learning on steroids. I mean, you really need to have understood something before you can explain it confidently. In my journey as a self-taught programmer, I have come across several obstacles and setbacks, etc. But what I want to address in this video is actually something that is more subtle but very present, especially for those who, like me, decided to go for the self-taught route. I am talking about self-confidence, being confident as a developer in your project, in your code, in your skills. Now, it is similar to an imposter syndrome, but when you are learning on your own, it's kind of justified. It is totally normal to look at other people's code or real-life apps and just say, "Nah, what I'm doing is too easy, it's not good enough. I'm not even gonna bother putting it out there." Well, I wanted to tell you that this is not true. It's totally normal to have these doubts, but don't let them stop you from publishing your code or working on something just because it's easy. And I want to give a couple of reasons for you to think about. First of all, from a newbie point of view, there is this great myth. Big apps like Facebook, like YouTube, like Twitter, you name it, they were born this way. You know, one day they just came out of the ground like this, being billion-dollar companies with all the features, with all everything. This is false. Facebook was not like it is now. I mean, we've all seen the movie, right? YouTube in its primordial shape was meant to be a dating app, dating website. I mean, imagine that. And Twitter, well, the story goes the same. Now, what do these big companies have in common? The basic concepts that built them, the foundations, are extremely easy. Twitter, you just send short messages and somebody can reply. Facebook, you create an account as a student. It was supposed to be in university, and then you share it with your schoolmates. And the list goes on for many other applications. There is this weird concept in the developer world, and I'm guilty as well. It was my mindset when I first started. If the app or the project you are working on, you're trying to build, is not big enough, well, then it's not good. There is this toxic comparison with these behemoths, like, if I cannot code the next Google, well, then I'm a failure. Let me tell you, if you're struggling right now as a programmer and you're trying to teach yourself how to code, this is absolute BS. No matter how simple your project or your application is, as long as it works, just put it out there, just publish it. Nobody knows what the world might do with it. After all, the world is a very big place. There are many people, and sure, some people might be on one end looking at your code, looking at your project and say, "What is this? I mean, do you call yourself a developer?" But there will also be people that will say, "This is exactly what I'm looking for." And you might be of help for them. I mean, you might become a resource. And I want to give you a personal experience, a personal example. I have recently started a new series on this channel where I share my projects, from the easiest when I had just started to more complicated stuff. By the way, if you have not seen it, just go and check it out. At first, I wasn't really sure about the easier project because I thought, this is too easy. Nobody really wants to see it. I mean, who needs this? But fortunately, I thought about it this way. There are entire libraries dedicated to do some very simple and basic stuff. Professional developers took the time to develop a simple library, published it on any package management website, PEEP or NPM, whatever that is, to make those libraries fully available for everyone. And now, those super simple libraries are helping millions of developers with their code. You don't believe me? The first video in my milestone project series is a random string generator. That's it. It is very brief, very simple. What do? Do I share it? I mean, isn't that a little bit too obvious? Could this be useful for someone? Let me tell you that there are entire libraries dedicated just to this. In JavaScript, for example, the most well-known, I guess, it's NanoID. You can check it out, npm NanoID. I will leave the link in the description. And you can visit their GitHub repo to take a look at the source code. Now, of course, the logic is a bit more complex. I mean, there is a genetic algorithm for randomness, which is different, but the core concept, at its core, NanoID is basically a random string generator, and now it has almost 12 million weekly downloads. Amazing, huh? You are not satisfied. Okay, take a URL shortener for example. When I first learned about HTTP requests, routing and dynamic URLs, I came up with my own URL shortener. I didn't check anywhere for how to build a URL shortener, but the logic is so easy that even I, definitely not a genius, was able to build it just thinking about it. And yet, despite being one of the easiest projects when you're starting web development, there is an entire website, well, more than one, but this one is quite large, is used by big names like Disney and Amazon, an entire website dedicated to shorten your URLs. It's bit.ly or bit.ly.com. I will leave the link in the description below so that you can visit the website and get inspired. Of course, if you visit their page, there are a ton more services that they offer other than just shortening your URL. But still, the concept of the base is blazingly simple. If this example have taught me something, is that it doesn't matter if your code, if your application or your website are too simple. You go on, share it, publish it. It might be of help for someone. Then build around them. It is way easier to create a wonderful application or a great application around a seed that is fundamentally simple than just trying to create the next Facebook or the next best thing starting from scratch. You want to write a random string generator? Good, do it. Then build around it. Create a password generator, which is basically the same thing. And when you're done, well, you can try and build a password manager. And then you turn it into a full-fledged website. You add an API, cool looking design, maybe browser extensions, desktop and mobile apps, piece by piece, and bam, you have Dashlane from a very small seed. As Drax says, start it from the bottom. Start it from the bottom. Alright guys, thank you very much for watching. This is the end. I really hope that you could learn something, take something, and actually, if you enjoyed this content, please leave a like. It would really help this channel grow, and leave a comment. I'd be really interested in knowing what you think about it, what your opinions are, and if you have any suggestion for new things that I can share on my channel. One last thing, go and check out my latest video series about Milestone project. I consider it so important that I wanted to share it. And if it can be of help for you in your learning journey, I'd be more than happy. Alright, so I guess this is all. As always, stay tuned for more. Bye bye.